What if the Earth grew 100 times larger overnight? Have you ever wondered what would happen if Earth grew 100 times its size? Will it grow into a massive planet, and how big can it get? A larger planet may have some similarities to Earth, but the differences in our ecosystems, evolution, and the fundamentals of reality will astound you. In this video, we'll take a look at what would happen to us if the Earth suddenly grew 100 times larger. If you are really curious, we'll tell you the story of the greatest disaster ever. It started with small jolts from beneath the ground. Nobody paid much attention to them. People assumed these were minor tremors. The jolts became much stronger and more frequent in just a year. They became full-fledged earthquakes in some areas, causing extensive damage to cities and villages. Worse, previously dormant volcanoes began to erupt. People all over the world began to sound the alarm. Scientists talk a lot about climate change and its impact on humanity, but it was clear that no one had definitive answers. The power and frequency of earthquakes and volcano eruptions increased over time. We abandoned large, sturdy apartment buildings in favor of lightweight, 3D printed houses. Neighbors were assisting one another, and entire towns banded together to build strong communities and prepare for the worst. And the worst happened sooner than we anticipated. If the diameter of the Earth were doubled to almost 16,000 miles, the planet's mass would increase eightfold, and the force of gravity would be twice as strong. Bodies with the same construction and mass as our flora and fauna would weigh twice as much and collapse if gravity were twice as strong. It would be timber for tall, thick trees like redwoods. Large, sun-seeking plants could still grow, but they would require stiffer architectures made of cellulose fibers and other materials entirely. To support their weight, animals' legs would have to be thicker. According to Neil Cummins, a physical professor at the University of Maine, the appearance of humans would be determined by the evolutionary demands placed on our biological forefathers in a higher gravity world. If our forefathers had to run fast and fight hard, we'd be burly, otherwise we'd be thin and light. NASA's Kepler spacecraft whizzed through space for nearly 4 years, surveying our corner of the galaxy. It scanned over 150,000 stars for planets the size of Earth that belong to other solar systems. The mission was a success, as Kepler discovered numerous examples of a type of planet known as a super-Earth. These distant planets may look familiar. They are rocky, smaller than gas giants, close to their star, and have a thin atmosphere. They are, however, much larger than the blue marble. These super-Earths are 2 to 10 times heavier than our planet. Because there are so many super-Earths out there, it begs the question, what would happen if our planet were 2 or even 10 times its current size? According to Mickey Rosenthal, a doctoral candidate studying planet formation at the University of California, it's possible that Earth and the other inner planets of our solar system were headed in that direction. One theory is that Jupiter grew so large that it cut off access to cosmic building blocks needed to grow the inner planets, effectively starving them. Whatever the reason for Earth's current size, there's no way to truly know what would happen if it became supersized. Scientists, on the other hand, have some theories based on what they have learned about our distant cousins. For starters, Mount Everest, and every tree in California's Sequoia National Park would be shorter, because increasing the size of a planet while keeping everything else constant increases gravity. You'd be heavier if Earth were twice its current size, because the force of gravity increases as the planet's density and radius increases. It would require more energy to resist gravitational pull, so today's structures would not be strong enough to stand as tall as they do. If we assume that the density of the Earth remains constant, doubling the radius increases the planet's mass by an order of magnitude because the surface gravity had doubled. Most plants and trees have collapsed. Because any animal the size of a dog or larger cannot run without breaking a leg, large predators cannot move quickly enough to catch prey. Due to the conservation of angular momentum, the planet now rotates 32 times slower. A day lasts more than a month. This causes massive temperature imbalances between the planet's light and dark sides, causing windstorms that flatten all buildings. If the atmosphere doubles in size, so does air pressure. This is still breathable, and the additional oxygen helps to compensate for the increased effort required to pump blood up to your brain. Although the thicker air makes flying easier for birds, most must land on water to cushion the impact of the stronger gravity. We don't know what would happen if the Earth grew larger or moved closer to the Sun, but so far it appears that we are very fortunate not to be living on any of those planets. And with that being said, it's time to end our video. Subscribe to the channel for more amazing videos like this. We'll see you with another interesting video.